Welcome to my new life. Welcome to the rebirth of Erica. Welcome to the rebrand of Erica. Welcome to the remarketing of it. Welcome to Erica, the way that y'all should have met her originally. Okay? So let's jump right in. Okay, so I'm gonna just move y'all a little bit closer. Well, your girl is now wearing contacts. I think in one of my older videos, I did put in some contacts. That was like the first time. I just had like a trial set and I didn't really think they were for me, but now your girl is committed. Your girl is committed to the contact life. It's actually kind of fun. Because I can see without having my big old bifocals on. So yeah, that's one. Your girl is now a contact girly. Contact girly. I'm actually gonna go wash my hands so I don't have any oil or grease or whatever, because I was cooking before this. So yeah, let me go wash my hands. The lighting in here about to piss me off. We already starting. Well, welcome back to my channel, everyone. That sounds so crazy saying that. I don't even know how many. It's been a year, I think, since the last time I posted. No, I'm not dead. But I was making that money. Yeah, like, Erica, where have you been? Getting to that bag. But we're gonna get into it. So I thought for my first video back, it would be great to do just like a sit down. Also, I have an event that I'm supposed to be going to in an hour, actually. And I just started getting ready. So I was like, oh, this is not what I'm wearing. This is just like a little cute set. Actually, let me show y'all this set. I bought these for when I went to Costa Rica. Like I said, we have so much to chat about, but I just wanted to show y'all this set. Okay, you can see my panty line a little bit, but yeah, I got this set in like 4 to 5 different colors. One thing about me, when I find a good set that I like, I want every color. So I got it in purple, I got it in blue, black, and I think gray. Tea, and it had a whole bunch of other colors, so I will be ordering some more. But like I said, this is gonna be a sit down video about where I've been, what I'm up to, what I hope to be doing. Yeah, and this is just my way of having y'all hold me accountable if I don't do what I say I'm gonna do. All right, I'm back, and y'all also kind of just reminded me to turn off my food because I would have been crazy. I've done that before. Left the pot on, food just burning up, and I'm just in here chilling. I don't know. My social awareness needs to get better. But yeah, if you can also see in my background, I mean, this is the same bed, but y'all, we moved. Okay, that was probably like one of the biggest things that happened. Actually, no, there were so many pivotal moments, but one of like the highlights was definitely me moving. So originally I lived in New Jersey. I now live in the DMV. So I am a DMV baddie. If you know, you know. A lot of people ask me like, oh, is it for work? Was it for, like, what was it for? Like, why did you move? I moved just because. When life just be lifing, sometimes you just need to get up and move, especially if you don't have any, like, let me not say I don't have any roots in New Jersey, because I definitely have roots. I have family, I have friends, all the good jazz. In New Jersey, my actual office to my job is in New Jersey. But no, like, life was just lifing, and I was like, I need to get the heck out of here. And don't get me wrong, yeah, like, life was just whooping me. I was getting jumped. I'm not gonna lie. I was getting jumped in Jersey. The last year and then 4 to 5 months. Yeah. So I think the last time y'all had saw me, I was in my own apartment. Girl, had to move up out of there because your girl went a little Brazilk. Okay, like what? I was like down bad. So I had to move back home for, I gave myself 5 months to get myself together because, child, if you know that living at home comes with so much, it just comes with a lot, if I'm being completely honest. Like, so much drama, turmoil, and sometimes not even all that. I just noticed too that, like, because you're home, your day kind of revolves around everyone else that's in the house. So their schedules, their time frames, and also like, oh, well, we need you to watch X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, if I wasn't living there, you probably wouldn't have asked me. It's just like the convenience of you being home. So it comes with a lot. But I was very grateful for the time that I was there. Because, you know, I was able to save money. I was able to get myself on track and in order because mentally, spiritually, emotionally, my last apartment previous to this one, it was supposed to be like my little safe haven, my little space that I was gonna like make all pretty cute, and just my first girly apartment was barely in that hoe. If I'm being completely honest, was barely up in there, was chasing behind a man. I'm telling y'all, I'm spilling tea. Not too much tea because y'all need to be in my business like that, but was chasing after a man and was barely up in my house that I was paying bills for. So yeah, moved back home, went through basically like a little mental breakdown. Let me put in my contact. Okay, I had to do the rest of that off camera because contacts was not contact today. I'm using the e.l.f. brow lift. I use this to just like give me that laminated brow look. My eyebrows are waxed, so I'm just gonna use this spoolie to like brush them up and then put on the product with the same spoolie. I honestly forgot what part I left off on, but yeah, so had to move out of my apartment. The lease was up anyway. It was just that like I couldn't afford to continue living there. So gave myself about I told myself like 5 months and you need to be out of your parents' house. Like you need to get your life together expeditiously get your life together. So got my life together. Broke up with the guy, of course, because like what? Anywho, and literally I started to get really, really strong in my faith. I was still going to therapy as well. We talked about that a little bit in one of my other vlogs where I talked about like faith being like super important. And in the meantime, if you were keeping up with my other socials, I was still, you know, making TikTok content, you know, just like little videos here and there because like I do like, you know, social media. I do want to make something out of this. I don't know if it would be a career per se, but I like the opportunities that I know it can give others and what I've seen it do for others. And like I said, during that time when I was like really stressed out, really like low and down in myself, like I would just like go back to my old content to make myself feel better or to like remember, you know, where I was and like how good life can get again. So like I think content does have a really good, how would I say, like it does have I know how a lot of people like to talk about like, oh, social media has such a negative impact, but like sometimes like if you're really down low, like sometimes I do, like when I'm feeling low about myself, I go watch some of my favorite creators because it's like, dang, like these sad times of mine, they don't last long. Like they won't last long and I'm not gonna allow them to. So yeah, long story short, content, like still making content and just like finding myself and finding my faith again was like really pivotal. I even got back into fitness. I had been in fitness like earlier on, like maybe like in my early teens. I was like really into fitness. Yeah, actually no, like I would say I was like my early teens, I was into fitness. I was working with a trainer, all that good stuff. And then it's like I kind of just like lost myself when I went to school. Stuff is expensive. So it's like I kind of like jumped back into fitness again. I just really started to find myself. So moving back home wasn't so detrimental as I thought it was going to be. Of course, like, it had its moments where I was like, yeah, this is why I gave myself the 5 months, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was definitely bad. Like, hey, it was bad, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'm going to go in with the Precisely My Brow by Benefit. It's like a brow gel. I don't really like do too much to my brows nowadays. Like I said, I usually just use the brow lift, and then I go in with this brow gel. So but actually before that, I usually like to prime. So I'm going to use the Milk Hydro Grip to prime. I recently started using this again, and it's actually pretty nice. I say, like, for the summer, it's really good. I don't know, it really does make my makeup stick, in my opinion. Like, it makes it last, especially like through the heat and everything else that we got going on out here. Like, it'd be a lot happening with this weather. So I really feel like this primer is weatherproof. But yeah, so your girl went broke. Your girl went crazy. She went insane. So she went home. She went home and she had to get her life together. Yeah, and that was really a true test for me, because I had always told myself, like, after moving out, and like, so also in the vlogs you would see too that, like, as soon as before I had graduated undergrad, I already had an apartment. So yeah, like, my goal was to never, I don't think anyone's goal is to ever have to move back home. Like, no one ever wants to do that, but it's like, when you're in certain predicaments, like, you just have to. Like, why go broke or why go hungry trying to prove that you can, like, do it on your own, especially if you do have a family that's, like, willing to help you out. So yeah, that was interesting. So during the 5-month period, as I mentioned, I just got really, really strong in my faith. I started reading my Bible more. I started just, like, really immersing myself in the Word of God and, like, everything that means, and just revisiting the idea of, like, what it means to be a Christian. I've always grown up in a Baptist church, so I knew Christ, but I would say, like, I didn't know Christ as an adult. I definitely knew him as a child. You know, I would say I had an idea of who Christ was. Now I'm going in with the Juvia's Place number 12 concealer. I am Magic Concealer, to just clean up under my brows. But yeah, I would say that I had an idea of Christ. Of course, I thought he was like this skinny-ish Middle Eastern looking man with, like, long hair, with, like, long hair, or whatever the case may be. But, like, so yeah, like, I had an idea of who Christ was, but I would say that I very much so didn't seek him in my adulthood. I knew of him, I believed in him, but I didn't know what it really meant to have strong and long faith. And what I mean by that is that, like, even in your worst and unpredictable times where you're like, I truly do not know how I got here, God is going to make a way. And saying that now is, like, even to someone who may be watching this, who may be going through a struggle right now, who's like, yeah, I believe in God, but, like, God is literally forsaking me right now, because, like, why am I in this predicament? I never thought I would be here. I have all this money. I have all this, whatever you may be going through, you probably are just like, why is God leaving me alone? It's about having that long and that strong faith that, like, at the end of the day, I am good because I am a child of God. I am good because I have faith that through him, I am strengthened. And that was something that I truly, truly learned during my time away from YouTube, and just, like, time away from, like, everyone. I would say, like, in that season that I was in, like, of course I was, like, still talking with friends and, like, stuff like that, but it was just, like, I just literally needed to get myself together. Like, I truly needed to grab myself up by my bootstraps and just, like, get it together. But it was just, like, we don't do those things alone. Like, I had, like I said, family, I had friends, I had God. Like, you know, I wasn't just, like, doing it all on my own. And I think that perception, I really just want to debunk that perception of, like, oh, doing it all on your own. Like, that's that will get you into so many predicaments that you do not need to be in by just simply asking for help, or just coming to terms with, like, I cannot do it all on my own. And that used to be such a crazy concept for me, because throughout the beginning part of my life, everything I thought like I just have to do it on my own. I just have to do it on my own because that's how I was raised. Like I was quite literally raised in that manner. And also I was raised in the manner of like not looking weak and not wanting to appeal to be weak emotionally. And so yeah, not asking for help definitely got me into some ish that I could have avoided. I'm now gonna go in with my Fenty Beauty Eavesdrop Tint Stick. Y'all are about to see how much I put on this. You're gonna be like, girl, you barely put anything on, because I really do not be playing in my skin no more, y'all. That's it. And then maybe one on the forehead, but I didn't even need the one on the forehead because when you blend it, it's just like, you don't even need all that. You ain't even need all that. I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender and I'm gonna spray it with this Refi. I got a sample of their face setter spray. So yeah, I just wet my beauty blender with that. But yeah. So yeah, y'all. Going back into what I was saying about like my faith, and like also, like I said, I also was in therapy as well, because like I say, y'all, this stuff was traumatic. A lot of the stuff that I was going through was like very, very traumatic. And like if I did not have my therapist and like just an outlet to just talk out these things, because like after a while, like, you know, you can talk the talk all you want with like friends, but after a while it's like they are not professionals. Like I respectfully love them, and you know, like none of my friends are therapists, so like maybe some of your friends are specialists, but at the end of the day, like those are your friends, and you don't want to take advantage of your friends just because that's their career. But it's like, it got to a point where I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I have professional help, because I needed professional help. A lot of the things that I wanted to talk about, a lot of the feelings and sadness and grief I was experiencing over the loss of that relationship, the loss of my apartment, the loss of like the status I once was, and like all this great stuff. I truly needed that outlet. Okay, so y'all, once again, I'm gonna tell y'all, if you don't got a therapist in your 20s, especially your early 20s, look into that. Look into that. And I'm not gonna lie, like especially like nowadays, like especially even when I'm talking to someone, I ask them, have they been to therapy? Like it's such a big thing and it's so important to me now. Like I can't play like that. But anywho, was in therapy, was getting help. During that time, like I said, I was, you know, being serious about my faith, understanding what faith meant, what it looked like. And yeah, I was also not dating. I was actually not dating because I was like, this is so unserious. Like I was not like taking anyone serious. I'm going back in with that concealer to get under my eyes. Yeah, I was not talking to anyone during that time because I'm a firm believer of like, my life is a mess. If my life is truly a mess, why would I want to bring someone else into my mess? And then also like, I dead just needed to heal for real. Like I dead just needed to heal and just relax for a bit. Like just relax and not think about how my life needs to be surrounded by like how, like I just didn't need to think about someone else's feelings, emotions, perspectives. Like I honestly didn't care. Like I cared about myself, what I had going on. Like I wanted to be selfish because like this is the moment to be selfish. Like you are broke as shit, girl. Like, well, I wasn't broke as shit, but it's like you have a lot going on financially, like physically, mentally. Like you need to just worry about you and what you got going on. You don't need to be worried about no man buying you dinner. Like, no. So yeah, during that time, I was also not dating. I did not have time for that. I was truly just, it was literally work. Yeah, it was truly work. Making my little TikToks, Jesus, okay? Jesus, and the occasional outing with my friend. Like, literally. So, life was lifing, okay? Oh, and of course, the occasional vacation, because, like, we gotta go on vacay, you know? Okay? Y'all, I said I'm healing. I'm not completely healed. I'm still learning, okay? But anywho. So that was, yeah, it was just like a lot. Like it was really just a lot. And I'm honestly am grateful that it happened to me. I'm pretty sure it may happen to me again. You know, I'm only 25. Only 25. Woo! And I'm fine. But I'm literally only 25. So it's like, who's to say that like these pivotal moments won't happen again? But it's like, I feel like now I'm just more equipped. I understand life, and I would think like the world a little bit differently than what I thought before. I feel like I was very naive. I'm going in with the Juvia's Place Amber bronzer. It's like this little pot, and it has like little gold pockets of shimmer in there. And I'm gonna take this Refi brush. I usually use this. I've seen, y'all need to correct me on how to use this brush, because I see some people using this for blush and this for the bronzer. I use this for the bronzer, but whatever. I'm gonna do this off camera because my camera's actually about to die, so I need to speed it up a little bit, and we're gonna chat a little bit more towards the ending of the makeup. Okay. Yeah, half of the face is done now. I'm putting on my lashes. I think that's where I want it to sit. Yeah, lashes on. I'm just gonna go in and do my waterline with this Ruby Kiss liner. It's just a regular Beauty Supply store liner. But yeah, so during that whole time, I was just asking God, what do I do next? And so I started to look for apartments again, because I was like, okay, now I'm in a better spot financially. We can move out. And also just the at-home life started to get a little hectic. Like I said, living there was it was a little bit much. So I started touring apartments in Jersey. Y'all, ish was expensive. The little budget I literally had the year before, they were like, ma'am, that's too little. Like, you need to raise it up a little bit, or or you're gonna be staying in Ivy Hill. And there's nothing wrong with Ivy Hill, but I'm not staying in Ivy Hill. Period. Straight like that. So yeah, your girl was like, let's see what we can do. We were praying about it. And like I said, still touring apartments like crazy in Jersey. Just nothing is working out, or they just look insane. And I'm like, I'm not about to pay y'all X amount of dollars to live in something that looks crazy. And I'm not about to pay y'all hundreds of thousands of dollars to live in something that's mad mid. So I prayed about it. And y'all, when I tell y'all I was praying about it, and then one night I had this crazy dream that was just like, move. It wasn't even, it was just words popping up in my dream that just said, move, move. And I woke up like, what? And I started journaling about like, you know, what does it mean to move? Like physically, emotionally, mentally. And I'm like, physically maybe move, because I feel like emotionally I've moved out of the space that I was in. Spiritually, I moved out of the rut that I was in. So move physically. So I hit up one of my close friends. I was like, hey, Amaya. Amaya might be watching this. I was like, hey, Amaya girl, you want to go to DC this weekend? And she's like, yeah. Whole time, girl, I had already looked up apartments and stuff. I had already looked up apartments that I wanted to tour while we were down there for our little girls' little weekend. And so I turned our girls' weekend into a very productive weekend, actually. But yeah, literally toured a few apartments for like 2 different days. Ended up finding the apartment that I loved, put in the application, and now your girl is a DMV baddie. Straight like that. And so yeah, welcome to my new life. Welcome to the rebirth of Erica. Welcome to the rebrand of Erica. Welcome to the remarketing of it. Welcome to Erica, the way that y'all should have met her originally. Okay. But yeah, so my goal is now to truly be more active on here, actually post content, and I need y'all to hold me accountable. If y'all miss a video for over a month, I need y'all to hold me accountable for sure. Like, I'm also gonna hold myself accountable, because you know, do what you do when no one is watching, you know, that kind of vibe. So for sure gonna hold myself accountable. Gonna go in with this one size spray that just locks it all in. because I truly need to hold myself accountable, and that's on that. We're gonna take out our rollers. We're gonna do a lip, and I'm gonna come back and show y'all the final face being snatched. Come on, mamas. Yes, those overnight curlers be doing the things. Okay, I didn't do a lip. I didn't know what's on my lip, but I think I might just do a Refi combo. The Refi lip is in sepia, and then the tinted gloss in blush. But yeah, y'all, so I am just ready to get back into action. I'm ready to flourish, live my life, be beautiful, be gorgeous, and take y'all along for the ride, okay? I just lightly line my lips with them because it can get a little, it can start to look a little dark. But yeah, so vlogs, videos on home improvement, me just yapping, me just making content and just being Erica again. That's what I'm on. That's what I'm on. That's what I'm on. And yeah, we have so much to do in this house. So much to decorate. So much to decorate. And I'm gonna need y'all help. I'm gonna need y'all opinions. And I look forward to y'all helping me out. So we'll talk soon, y'all. Love y'all.